So if you observe here, this is the last portion of the spinal cord here. Okay, if you observe carefully, this is a conus medullaris, right? And if you look into, this is an inner membrane, meningeal membrane. This is a pia mater. Okay, this is what, this is an arachnoid membrane, right? This is dura mater. So it consists of, right, this spinal cord consists of pia mater, arachnoid membrane, and the dura mater. Okay, and what is this part? This is a last section. Say example, if this is, if this is a spinal cord here, so total end, at the end, the last portion of the spinal cord, I drew it here. Okay, and the next point written here, it's written that you have got something known as phylum terminale. Okay, phylum terminale. And what is phylum terminale? Phylum terminale, it is a modification of pia mater from L1 to coccyx, right? So what is this here? This is a phylum terminale, right? And where it's starting from? It's starting from L1. Okay, just remember this is an L1. Okay, it's starting from L1 till the coccyx. This is called the coccyx from the L1 level. Now, and the second important point here, the arachnoid membrane, this is an arachnoid membrane, and this arachnoid membrane ends at lower border of S2, at the lower border of S2, it ends at S2. And the next important point here is subarachnoid space also end at the lower border of S2. This is an arachnoid membrane, this is the dura mater, this is the pia membrane. Below the arachnoid membrane, you have got a subarachnoid space. Okay, and this subarachnoid space also ends where the arachnoid membrane ends. Am I right? Yes. So subarachnoid membrane and the subarachnoid space, they both end at the lower border of the S2. That's the basic important point, right? And the next important aspect, they're speaking about the phylum terminale. Okay, this is a phylum terminale. Okay, phylum terminale, which I have told you, it is a modification of pia mater from L1 to the coccyx. From the L1 to the coccyx, it is a modification of the, it is a modification of the pia mater. Now, I need to understand, or I have to tell you, there are two important basic points to understand. What are the two important basic points? There are two parts of phylum terminale. Okay, one is phylum terminale internum. Next is phylum terminale externum. The one which is present inside this, okay, inside the membrane, meningeal membrane, it is an internum, right? This is a phylum terminale. And what do you mean by phylum? Phylum is nothing but, it is a thread-like, remember, right? It is a thread-like. What is terminale? Terminale is nothing but, it is a final stage before the death. Okay, so it is a thread-like structure. Okay, it is not the end, but it is a last but one point. Okay, so what is the length of this phylum terminale, guys? The length of the phylum terminale is 20 centimeters. Remember, it is at 20 centimeters. Out of 20 centimeters, remember that 15 centimeters is present inside this membrane. Where exactly it is? It is starting from this point L1 to the S2. Okay, and this is present inside the arachnoid membrane. So we call that as phylum internum. And the next important aspect, if you observe carefully, this phylum terminale, it is present outside, right? The few phylum terminale is present outside. Where exactly it is present? Outside the dura mater. If it is present outside the dura mater, it is what? It is a 5 centimeters. So that's what you need to understand, right? This is a 20 centimeters. This is a 5 centimeters. Okay. This 20 centimeters. This is a 5 centimeters. This 5 centimeters which is present below the S2. Okay, it is present below the S2. Now, if it is present below the S2, it is of 5 centimeters. Remember that it is present outside the arachnoid membrane. So, based on the presence of the phylum terminale, whether it is present inside the arachnoid membrane or present outside the arachnoid membrane, they are divided into, if it is present inside, phylum terminale internum. If it is present outside, it is a phylum terminale externum. Right? So, this is 5 centimeters and this is a 5 centimeters point. In this 5 centimeters point, remember that once it is a 5 centimeters, and we need to understand it is a 5 centimeters below the S2 and it is present outside the epidermis. And the next important point is the dura covers, remember that the dura converges at S2